LPG, and GCPP last week Thursday filed a suit against the Electoral Commission of Ghana in the Supreme Court over the Commission's unlawful and unreasonable decision to restrict centers for the limited voter registration exercise to their district offices. The PNC has subsequently thrown their weight behind the suit with the hope of joining same in the Supreme Court subsequently. The suit was filed simply because the Electoral Commission's decision to restrict the centers of voter registration to their 268 district offices has the potential to deprive many eligible voters of their right to be registered as voters and to vote in public elections. Pending the final determination of the substantive matter, the parties have duly filed an application for interlocutory injunction in the Supreme Court to restrain the EC from proceeding with the announced limited voter registration exercise, which, as you are well aware, commenced today, Tuesday, 12 September 2023. Even though registration has commenced, this suit at the Supreme Court is only the first of a series of actions that we intend to take to compel the Electoral Commission to conduct limited voter registration at the electoral area level to give all eligible voters access to the process in line with the letter and spirit of Article 42 and 45 of the 1992 Constitution, Regulations 2(1) sub 2 of CI 191 and EC's own time-tested practices. The basis of this suit are that Article 42 of the 1992 Constitution provides that every citizen of Ghana 18 years and above and of sound mind is entitled to be registered as a voter and to vote in public elections and referenda. We firmly believe the EC's decision to restrict registration centers to their district offices will deprive many eligible Ghanaians of their right to be registered as voters and lead to voter suppression. Also, whereas Article 45E of the 1992 Constitution mandatorily enjoins the EC to undertake programs to expand the registration of voters, the EC's decision to restrict registration centers to the district offices will reduce access to voter registration, hence contravenes Article 45E of this Constitution. In other words, the Constitution enjoins the Electoral Commission to undertake exercises that will expand voter registration to cover as many eligible voters as possible. So if the Electoral Commission decides consciously to organize voter registration in the way and manner that will restrict voter registration or restrict access, then it means that they are acting directly in contravention of Article 45E of the 1992 Constitution. Again, the EC's decision to restrict registration centers to their district offices violates Regulation 2 sub 2B of CI 91, amended by CI 126, the law that governs centers for voter registration. Regulation 2, paragraph 2B of CI 91 provides, and I beg to quote, in designating a place as a registration center, the Commission shall take into consideration A, the suitability of the place for use as a polling station on election day, and B, the accessibility of the place to prospective applicants for registration. Because registration centers are almost always or are intended to be voting centers. Even though the Electoral Commission has the right to determine or to designate where registration should take place, they should make sure that every registration center is suitable to be used as a voting center. Also, given the long distances that many eligible voters will have to travel, and the exorbitant fares they will have to pay to transport themselves to district offices of the EC under the excruciating hardship Ghanaians are presently confronted with, the decision is insensitive, unreasonable, unlawful, and unconscionable. Ladies and gentlemen, it is instructive to note that Regulation 30 of CI 91 enjoins the Electoral Commission to revise the voters' register annually and to do so at the electoral area level. Yet, the Jimensa-led EC has violated the law in the last 2 years by not conducting any limited registration in 2021 and 2022. This has created a huge backlog of about 2.8 million eligible persons, including unemployed youth who are entitled to be registered. This huge backlog is the more reason why the Electoral Commission's decision to restrict voter registration to their district offices is unconscionable and preposterous. In 2019, the EC conducted limited voter registration in 1,500 electoral area centers. Why would the EC reduce this number of registration centers to 268 now that they have a huge backlog of about 2.8 million persons to register? It simply does not make sense. This irresponsible and unconscionable decision of the Commission confirms the NDC's long-held view that the Jimensa-led Electoral Commission is determined to rig election 2024 through voter suppression. But she will fail because we are ready for them. Aside its potential to suppress registration and voting, the EC's decision to restrict voter registration to its district offices can promote and facilitate gerrymandering, as agents of political parties will find it difficult to challenge persons who may be passed from one constituency to register to another to register. Ladies and gentlemen, in addition to the NDC, there are 4 other political parties who are plaintiffs in the instant case at the Supreme Court. And as already indicated, the DNC has also thrown its weight behind the scene. In fact, CODIO, Care Ghana, and other stakeholders in our electoral space have all criticized this unreasonable decision of the Electoral Commission. Apart from the ruling and corrupt NPP party, no other political party or stakeholder has supported this decision by the Electoral Commission. This clearly shows that the Electoral Commission is the problem and not the NDC. And we know the only reason why the MPP is supporting this unreasonable and unlawful decision is because they are the masterminds and sole beneficiaries of same. In an unusual twist, when our lawyers filed the injunction application last week, Thursday, we were informed by the registrar of the Supreme Court that the due date for the application for interlocutory injunction to be moved will be given on Monday upon the express instructions of the Chief Justice of our dear Republic of Ghana. The decision by the registry of the Supreme Court to defer giving a hearing date for the injunction application on ground that the Chief Justice is currently out of Accra leaves much to be desired, and as the CJ should have delegated same to act in her absence. The administration of justice in our apex court cannot come at a standstill simply because the Chief Justice is indisposed or unavailable to give hearing dates. What happened to the e-justice system the John Mahama-led NDC administration toiled for? This deliberate delay should not happen in any civilized country, and this is completely unacceptable. Ladies and gentlemen, when people complain about the administration of justice, the president has the guts to complain about the people who are complaining. Can't you see what is happening? That this same judiciary can find time to grant injunctions against people who intend to demonstrate against corruption at the Supreme and the Bank of Ghana with alacrity, and yet that same judicial system cannot find time and space to grant such an important injunction against an exercise which is wrongly being conducted and which has the potential to throw this country into a turmoil. What type of justice are we experiencing in this country? Those who don't want us to complain about the bad justice system have a responsibility to correct what is wrong. We are only writing the testimonial. If a student conducts himself in a way, that student has already lived the testimonial. So the head teacher does no wrong when that testimonial is converted onto paper. So those who don't want us to complain about the wrong system must face that wrong system first. And it is their responsibility. This is yet another clear evidence of judicial manipulation, and we condemn it in no uncertain terms. We are aware that the EC has also been served with 2 applications for injunction from courts of competent jurisdiction, specifically the High Court. Yet the Lawrence Jimenez-led EC has decided to flout these injunction applications by going ahead with the registration exercise in flagrant disregard to the letter and spirit of the rule of law. We're all in this country. Since the Electoral Commission started operating from 1992, they have restrained themselves from proceeding with any exercise the moment they receive an application for injunction against that exercise. Any institution has a way. There are 2 positions to take when there is an application for injunction. One position is that it is a mere application, so unless it is granted, it is not binding. That's one position. The other position, which Electoral Commission itself has adapted over 30 years now is that while they receive a process, it is noticed that something is going to happen. So they stop whatever they are doing. And this is the first time the Electoral Commission is changing this posture. Indeed, just last May, when we were doing our primaries, there were 2 applications to injunct our process. The first one was filed by Dr. Dufo. And when we worked around the clock to get that application vacated, immediately after the vacation, the Electoral Commission told us, getting to 4 p.m., told us that there's another application we have received. So because of that, we are unable to conduct your exercise. And we had to work within 1 hour to get that matter resolved before the Electoral Commission could proceed to conduct our election. What has changed? What has changed? Today, 5 political parties have served the Electoral Commission with an injunction, and they ignore it and proceed to do the exercise. And we're still, the Chief Justice gives instruction that in her absence, nobody can fix the date for the hearing at the Supreme Court matter. Know very well that she will be absent. So what are we witnessing in this country? We are calling on the intervention-happy ECOWAS countries that they better act to stop civilian coup d'etats from happening. They shouldn't close their eyes on this flagrant disregard of the principles of democracy and rule of law, only to jump in when somebody overthrows that system. They now jump in to say they are going to restore democracy. What type of democracy are you restoring in the first place? We are signaling the peers of Nanado that this is the time they should talk some sense into the heads of their colleagues. They shouldn't wait till things go bad before they jump up and want to restore what is already bad for us. We all have a responsibility to correct things before they go bad. And as I have always said, democracy can tolerate bad governance so long as the means of changing that bad governance is not tampered with. If you have a wrong leader, we all tolerate, with the hope that maximum 4 years we will have the right to change that leader and better our circumstances. It is worse when you act to block the means of peaceful change. It is then and only then that you invite violent changes. We don't want violent changes. So we want everybody to come on board and help us to ensure that the means of peaceful change is not blocked. And that is why we are addressing the nation the way we are doing today. We wish to emphasize that the EC's decision to proceed with the limited voter registration exercise today, despite being served with 2 injunction applications from the courts, contradicts an important precedent set by they themselves during the 2023 NDC presidential and parliamentary primaries, when they publicly announced the suspension of their supervision of our primaries on grounds of a suit and injunction application filed by Dr. Dufo. What has changed? Why this inconsistency? Ladies and gentlemen, notwithstanding these pending legal matters, the NDC is fully ready for the registration exercise, which was illegally commenced by the EC today. We are ready, very ready, but we care for the poor registrants who must cater for the cost and constraints of being registered to vote. We currently have our agents and officers in all 268 district offices of the Electoral Commission countrywide. We are keenly and actively monitoring the process and will ensure that the manipulations of the Electoral Commission and the ruling MPP calculated to suppress votes and rig the process are defeated and defeated soundly. NDC shall always stand and fight for the masses. We therefore wish to call on all NDC officials at all levels, members, sympathizers, and Ghanaians as a whole to encourage and fund and assist all eligible persons or prospective registrants to defy the EC and participate in the ongoing registration exercise. Your vote is your power. Don't allow the Dimension-led EC to rob you of it, no matter what. Relatedly, we have outlined some discrepancies in the registration process which commenced this morning, and we wish to share a few with you in order to jolt the EC into action. We expect the Electoral Commission to act swiftly in order to avoid any further loss of confidence in the Commission. And these are a few of them. Just this morning, over 90% of centers were not able to print out the required start of the day printout across the country before you undertake any exercise. To check that names have not already been preloaded on the machines, you print start of the day printout and give copies to all the political parties for us to assure ourselves that there are no pre-registered names in the machine. In 90% of the registration centers, this was not done. So the process is already endangered. We have no capacity to verify whether some names were pre-registered before the start of the exercise. I mean, everybody knows that even before we start voting, we empty the ballot box and show it to everybody that it is empty. So that is why the processes have been designed in such a way that before any machine will start registration at any center, you do a printout to show that we are starting from point zero. In 90% of the stations across the country, no such printout was given out to political parties. Now, most centers across the country started after 8:30, when I believe the advertised time was 7. For instance, just a sample of some of the district centers and the time they started. In Savannah, Bole started at 9:30 a.m. Greater Accra, Odudu here, not far away from the EC headquarters. They started at 10 a.m. The same Greater Accra, Okankwe South, 10:31 a.m. Ablikuma West, 10:40 a.m. And as at the compilation of this report, the Akoye has not started at all. In Hoboy, 9:10 a.m. in Sablugu in the northern region, Sanerigu in the northern region, midday. And even after the start, after some time, they were able to register only 2 persons. As we are here, they are now working to replace the system in Sanerigu. And the parliamentary candidate is sitting here right with us. And then, and Tamale North too, they haven't started. 2 names for the whole day. Tamale North, 1210. Savannah, Daboya, 9. Damongo, 9. And as I was walking into this office, the same report was coming from Tamale South and Tamale Central. For the whole day, 2 days have been registered. What is happening to our democracy and fairness in this country? We have an issue of network challenge too. About 70% of the centers running online are slow, hence delaying the process. Some of the areas where slow network has been the main problem: Ningo Pram, Yellow Krobo, Lower Manya Krobo, Eastern region, Asujamai. All this happens to be the strongholds of the NDC. How come that our network system in the country is so politically selective? Say that it can decide to be fast in other areas and be slow in others. Then there are a lot of system malfunction throughout the country. Registration at some centers is not going on as at midday due to challenges with machines and network. Bono East, Techimai North, the system is not able to print any card at all. Again, our area. Western region, Mpoho, not able to capture data. The system is not able to capture data at all. Ahafo, Tano North, the system is not able to print cards. Trobo, there's a complete system breakdown. Abrekuma West, system breakdown. Central, Agura Asiedu, machine breakdown. In Upper West, Lambusier, machine breakdown. Western, Tadi, not able to print the cards. Ashamai, machine breakdown. Biakoye, webcam camera not functioning. Esikado, machine breakdown. Sanerigu, network system breakdown. Suhu, machine breakdown. Bolga East, system login and webcam not functioning. Tamale North, network and machine breakdown. Lower Manya Krobo, network breakdown. Tamale South, machine breakdown. Tamale Central, machine breakdown. Elembele, machine network. Machine and network breakdown. Timpani, machine and network breakdown. You see, here too, the breakdowns are politically selective. There is not more than 2 centers where these breakdowns are happening, which are in the stronghold of MPP. All the rest are in the stronghold of NDC. So when we are complaining, this is the evidence. It's like His Excellency, when he was complaining about politicizing or politicization within the Bar Association and the others, chose to campaign at the Bar Association conference for people to vote for his party and not any other person. You see? So the evidence that people are looking for to support the claim that you are politicizing the legal system, you yourself in your speech have provided that evidence. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is why we call them, to let you know that all our suspicions about the electoral system being manipulated to take away the right of Ghanaians to choose their own leaders is happening. And it is up to all of us, citizens of this country, to stop that from happening, because stopping the electoral system malfunctioning is easier than living under a disruption that is possible if the system of peaceful change is blocked. I thank you very much, and may God bless you.
For more news, please visit our website graphic.com.gh or follow us on Facebook at Daily Graphic and on YouTube and Twitter at GraphicGH.
Subscribe now.